City Island. I'm really, really taken back by this movie. I think it's incredible. I mean, there's so many things to like about it. You kind of just have to take it as it is that, it's this film. You think it's going to be something really different and not anything like you expect because obviously he did rob the mob. So it's just going to be a crime sort of film. And then big surprise, it's not. Because there's the whole thing about him being a correctional officer, but that's only in for a little bit of the film, and that kind of just all kind of fades away. But I'm kind of glad it did fade away. It did, fade away because there's that sort of nice feeling that you get more into his character outside of work. That you get to see more of a bigger picture, and obviously for the rest of his family as well. So I think that works really well. I think overall the film is incredible. I think it's really, really terrific. I mean, there's so many things about it that work so well that I can't diss it on any level, really, apart from the Martin Scorsese cameo would have been really terrific. It's better than Rob the Mob, which I watched last night, which is the first time I watched of this director. I think he definitely did have talent in Rob the Mob. I mean, there's some very good performances, come out of that cast, and it looks great stylistically, and the soundtrack is fantastic. I think the soundtrack is still just as good here. I mean, he's definitely got a very good ear for music and stuff like that. Um, but I just think this film is so much better than Rob the Mob. I mean, I did like Rob the Mob. I did enjoy it, but I think there are some little things that are wrong with it. Like it's not perfect. Um, but I think this film is almost perfect. I mean, I really mean that. I mean, it's really, really funny, really enjoyable, and it just hits every note so well. I mean, it's emotional, it's funny, there's like sort of a romantic side in it, and the whole thing of the chemistry between Andy Garcia and Elodie Mortimer, I think there's something really great there. I mean, you wonder if they are a couple, and to be honest, I actually wouldn't mind if they were a couple, because for most of the film, you really don't like his wife that much. I mean, you don't so mind the bits when she's engaging with Tony and they're being friendly because it's the only person throughout the entire film for most of it that she seems to be friendly with, and the whole thing with them, Elodie Mortimer and Andy Garcia, it's really watchable. I mean, it's you can't take your eyes off it. I mean, they're so good that I actually wouldn't mind if they could just change the whole story, just that he goes on with her. But I know that can't happen. It's still fine the way it is, and I really enjoyed it. But I just loved their chemistry so much. I mean, there's not really a lot of scenes with Andy Garcia and his wife because they just kind of like to stay away from each other and they really don't like each other. But they all twist and turns at the end that they do get back together and then they rekindle their love. So for that thing, I'm fine with that, and that's good. But you do get that sense that you think they could have been, like I said, but it's fine. And the film works so incredibly well. I mean, Ezra Miller from We Need to Talk About Kevin and Perks of Being a Wallflower is incredible yet again. I mean, even as so young that he was, he's got this screen presence that you're just so into his character no matter what he plays, and I love that. I mean, he even in how I don't know how old he was, but it must have been filmed in 2008 because this came out in 2009. But that was like 3 years before Kevin even came out, and he's just so incredible to watch, and I love him so much. And I don't want to make it sound corny, I just do. And he's so funny. I mean, this film is a comedy, but I think it's lots of other things, which is what makes it work. I mean, some films just fail really badly at being so many things. Like main example was Odd Thomas recently, which was a terrible film. This film is nowhere near terrible. I really, 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 really like it. I mean, there's so many cool things going on there. There's so many enjoyable things. I mean, I love the dialogue. I mean, I love the way that they talk. The way that Andy Garcia and his wife, they sort of have this banter kind of thing, and then he makes it like he wants to be positive and nice, and it just turns into banter, and then he has to give banter back and really have a go back at her because their relationship isn't really very good. It's a bit hitting the rocks, so to speak. But you know, I just think this film's great. I mean, there's so many things that are great about it. I mean, I did enjoy Rob the Mob, but I think this film's better. I think Rob the Mob is a 3-star film. Sort of maybe it could have edged for 3.5 because of that soundtrack and all that's fantastic. But on an overall level, I would give it a 3. Um, but I would like to aspire to give it more because I really love some things about it. Um, but this is a 5-star film. And I don't think that'll ever get taken away from it. I think it's a fantastic film. I mean, I knew of it for a long time, but I never watched it. But I wish I did before in a way because it's so good. I think it needs to be shared with people. I think, because I've only just watched it today. It's been up for like 5 years. I mean, it's a great film. I think there's so many good things about it. I don't think there's anything really to criticize apart from the Martin Scorsese cameo would have been fantastic because the whole thing about him wanting to get the audition, and then the thing between him and Emily Mortimer that they, have that thing that it's that chemistry. It makes it so unique, and I think that's the most interesting storyline out of all of the storylines. I mean, I think they're all good storylines. You know, um, it's just that one really set the film on fire in a good way. Not like it set it on fire, it I love the film. I think it's fantastic, and it's to delight something really special. And there are lots of films that do that, but some really fail. But I think this film's really good, and I really really like it. I'm giving it 9.2.